It's the PHNX Cardinals pregame show, Monday Night Football edition, your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star. The Arizona Cardinals welcome the Los Angeles Chargers in just a couple minutes on Monday Night Football. Be sure to drop a comment, leave a like. Welcome, everybody. Johnny Venerable, the playmaker, former Arizona Cardinal wide receiver Brittan Golden. We've got Brack live from State Farm Stadium in just a couple minutes. Damon, Dawg, producer extraordinaire, helping us out behind the mic on this pregame show. Can the Arizona Cardinals kick their nationally TV, what we call it, voodoo? Can we get it going here? The team is 2-4. I've said it all week, Brittan Golden. I believe this is a must-win game for the Arizona Cardinals. And Jonathan Gannon, what say you?
I think it is too, especially, in your division and your conference. I think you need to get this win tonight. I mean, it's the AFC opponents. You don't play a lot of them. It doesn't really play a big part, in the long run, but it's wins in the win column. And I think right now at 2-4, you've got to find a win sooner than later.
They travel on the road after this game to Miami, who we would assume is welcoming back Tua. And so, yes, got to win this game, win your home games. Big thanks to our presenting sponsors today, our friends in Glendale, Sanderson Ford. Check them out. Also, check out our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Love our friends at Gila. Love our watch parties at Wild Horse Pass. Love everybody in the chat. Capacity Crowd is here. We're going to be here pregame, halftime, and postgame, covering this game from every angle. And again, drop a like, share this video as we get started here with your premier Arizona Cardinal pregame show. And with the pregame comes the pre-flight. The inactives for the Arizona Cardinals, no real surprises. We alluded to it, Brittan, all week. Marvin Harrison Jr. Passing concussion protocol after suffering, we assume, a concussion against the Green Bay Packers last week. The extra day off helped him. Trey Benson, who was sick with an illness over the weekend, has since been removed. So much to do about nothing. Week 7 inactives, not as robust as a Charger inactive group that includes the likes of Joey Bosa and Quentin Johnston.
I'll tell you what, Joey Bosa being on the sideline, it should be music to whoever's playing right tackle's ear tonight. Like, that is one less problem you have to deal with. Now, there's still 4 other guys over there that can get the job done, but Joey Bosa helps out a lot.
Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals are in a position, I think, to really take advantage of this Charger defense. We're going to talk about it. I get it. It's technically number 1 in the NFL, but we previewed it all week. Like, they faced a lot of average teams. I think the Carolinas, the Raiders of the world. So the Arizona Cardinals, with the offense that they built, the infrastructure, for the most part, it is intact. No Joey Bosa. This Charger defense is relatively average on paper, but we have seen with Drew Petzing, he can make average look below average with his unit. And let's jump in, if we could, to our Birdgang Blitz. Let's start with the defense for the Arizona Cardinals. Stopping the run, laugh out loud, JK, as in JK Dobbins, who is one of the more productive runners in the NFL. Yeah, we've got jokes here on PHNX Cardinals pregame. It is really their only method, I would imagine, for offensive success tonight. Respectfully, no Quentin Johnston. Like Ladd McConkey out of, Georgia as a first, second round pick, as a secondary option. But can this Arizona Cardinal front 7 step up for one night? Can they have a kind of overachieving mindset and corral the former Ohio State Buckeye?
I mean, I think it's a must today. If you can find a way to stop the run and force him to throw the ball, like you said, a lot of his weapons are not in. He lost a bunch of weapons, losing Keenan Allen in the offseason. Like, that was a security-type blanket for him. So, yep. I mean, if you can force him to go one-dimensional, I think you have a great opportunity to win this game, barring if, we have offensive play column that helps out. But if you can, as a defensive front 7, that's the main thing, right? I'm sure that was a focus all week. I hope it was. But stopping the run tonight against a run-heavy team right now is his main priority.
Cardinals elevated Ben Stille, among others, on their defensive line. You would have assumed Dante Still, second-year player out of West Virginia, getting the start. LJ Collier, Roy Lopez, Damon Dawg's favorite, out of the U of A. So they have some bodies. Kazir White, Mac Wilson playing the inside linebacker role. Listen, like I watched the Cardinal defensive front seven play relatively well against San Francisco and Brock Purdy. I think you need like a similar effort tonight where I don't think there's any scenario, folks, where like JK Dobbins doesn't have some kind of production, but at the same time, can it be like 110 to 120 as compared to like 175 and 3 touchdowns? Because to your point, like Justin Herbert, I don't think he's been average this year. I think he's just not being asked to do a ton. Like when your receiving core is this limited, I think it's very much like the JJ McCarthy effect that Jim Harbaugh had in Michigan. He's got 6 touchdowns to 1 interception. And again, those aren't going to jump out to anybody, but here's what I will say. Like Herbert has been known to turn the ball over historically. Well, they're limiting those turnovers this year, and they're keeping it very safe to intermediate throws. They're using their tight ends. We're going to talk about Will Desley and company. So if you're the Arizona Cardinals, you have to make Justin Herbert, who, oh, by the way, Brittan, is coming off significant, time on the mend from ankle injury. Yeah. So, like, if you can get them in 3rd and long, even with your dismal, and I emphasize dismal pass rush, like the Chargers are not set up to play from behind and ask Justin Herbert to throw with this receiving core. Maybe, yes, in the past, Brandon Staley style, but the worst thing you can do is allow the Chargers to run downhill all night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you just give them that opportunity, they're going to keep doing what they've been doing all season long, right? And not having Justin Herbert go out there and throw 35 times a game, 40 times a game. You can keep that down to where he's throwing 15 to 20 times a game, and his running backs are getting a handoff. If you can stop that run and force, the throws, I think, hopefully pass rush gets home tonight and makes it look kind of like the Rams game. But if you can get some type of pass rush back there and force them in the 3rd and longs, I think you're sitting in a good situation. You're getting off the field as a defense, and that's the main goal.
Big thanks to everybody sending in your super chats. We're going to jump into those in just a little bit. And again, Bo Brock live from State Farm Stadium as well. We continue here. Birdgang Blitz pre-show edition. Mr. Monday Night. Marvin Harrison Jr. coming back from his concussion protocol, is playing, is in the starting lineup, and has a chance to kind of reclaim his position as the NFL's best offensive rookie, specifically at the wide receiver position. We saw that week 2 explosion against the LA Rams, 2 touchdowns, 130 yards in the first quarter. And then since then, methodically, the production and I think the point of emphasis of him in this offense has gone down to the point where you heard offensive coordinator Drew Petzing. I use this term like loosely, but he was kind of bullied by this media earlier this week. And I was proud of the Phoenix media basically saying, like, what's going on here, Drew? Like the analytic people are saying he's being misused. You can tell that Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. are not on the same page. And to Drew Petzing's credit, there was a lot of authenticity and ownership of the fact that you spent the number 4 overall pick on this guy, and he's just kind of a cog in your offense. He needs to be the offense tonight.
No, I agree. I mean, I guess a good example was kind of last night. If you watched that Jets game last night, the first play from scrimmage, what did they try to do? It was a pass to Devontae Adams. Yep. He was trying to get those two on the same page immediately. I think it's something like find a hitch route, find a nice little slant route, something that's quick, even if it's a smoke route. Get him involved. Get the ball in his hands early. Let him start moving around and getting it going. That doesn't mean you got to go to him 8 straight times. I'm not saying anything like that, but find ways to get the ball in his hand early. That's what you do with your playmakers. All these teams that are winning on Sundays and winning on Mondays, like they're doing that. They're getting the ball in their playmakers' hands and they're allowing them to do stuff with it.
Yeah, Alex in the chat echoing the sentiments of this fan base. If he doesn't perform on prime time, if Marv isn't featured in a game like this, like we're done with Drew Petzing. We were just saying before the show, Alex, to Brittan and Damon, like I'm fully prepared to go on to this postgame show tonight. If Drew Petzing doesn't perform, and it's like, at what point do you have to make a change? The Cardinals are averaging just 16 points per game over the last month. And like their defense is what it is. Like we've seen that on full display, but like you ought to be able to go shot for shot with this Charger team. Your offense should be the best unit on both sides of the field for both teams based on the players that you have. And I also think that kind of leads us into our last topic of conversation here on the Birdgang Blitz. Cardinals are ahead of schedule as opposed to the Chargers in terms of when their rebuild started. Yet here you've got the Chargers favored against you with a winning record. Now, I know it's not apples to oranges. Cardinals have faced Brittan the hardest strength of schedule through the NFL in 6 games this year. That being said, like You and I were talking off air. I was talking to Damon about this. This Charger roster, especially what they're putting on display tonight, save for their offensive line, is just, it's not a good roster. Their defense is a bunch of overachievers, guys who have bounced around the league. Their skill players are not exceptional. Like, they have 2 great offensive tackles. They've got a nice guard, and they've got a great head coach. Save for that, like, there is no reason why, with a team that was getting mollywopped, being blown out regularly with Brandon Staley last year, that they should come into your building and take over this game, both mentally and physically. Like, you need to win this game.
No, for sure. And like you said, I think on paper, when you look at it skill position wise, the Cardinals are definitely an upgrade to what they're working with over there with the Chargers.
Yeah.
So you've got all the intangibles. It's going to come down to play calling. Can you put out a game plan today that looks similar to what we saw in week 2 against the Rams? Can you find ways to get out there? Now, granted, these guys do have to execute these plays, but you can see a difference in your players not executing and coach not calling and putting you in the right positions to execute. So today's one of those. It's a must-win game for you to get back on track, to get that feeling. And it's, for a lot of guys, you're on the ropes right now with your career.
Yeah, I think, again, this is such a big game. I've been tweeting about it. People are probably sick of me saying this week. Like, this is a huge game for, obviously, Jonathan Gannon. I think it's the biggest game in the JG era thus far. And it's a huge game for Kyler Murray. Like, I feel very confident, no matter how this season ends, as long as there's not, like, quitting involved by the team, which I don't imagine there would be, Gannon's going to be the coach of this team next year, and he should be able to. If Kyler Murray doesn't project well for the rest of this year, and, continue to build off of what's working and pivot off and what's not working, like, if this team's sitting there with, like, a top 5 pick, and again, I don't envision that happening, like, everything's on the table. Like, these are games that you need to win. These are games where Kyler Murray needs to go out with more weapons, more continuity at home, and outplay Justin Herbert. Like, I don't want to sit here on this postgame show and have Justin Herbert outplay Kyler Murray. I think that would be very damning for this team.
No, and, Justin Herbert's had a lot of success in this league at the same time as a young quarterback. Man, the last couple of years have been tough. He's lost a lot of playmakers and stuff like that. But, yeah, at the end of this game, I don't see any reason why Kyler Murray should not be the best quarterback walking out here. If not, then we got to start, it's then you start evaluating, was it Kyler or were we in positions, right? And it can go either way. I mean, both of them are going to get the blame at the end of the day because you got to make stuff happen with what you have. But this is one of those where we know on paper we're better than you, and we have to show it tonight.
It's an accountability game for the Arizona Cardinals. You guys should be held accountable by not going to Gila River Resorts and Casinos, because it is a premier location, one of their 4 locations. Especially our fave, Wild Horse Pass. Our watch parties are off the chain. If you haven't come out, check us out. We're back in just a couple of weeks for a watch party in the month of November. And again, Suns tip-off ASAP. We're going to have watch parties with our friends at PHNX Suns. And it all takes place. Gila River Resorts and Casinos, the largest Arizona sportsbook casino going. They've got 4,500 slots, live table games. Again, check out the action right now. The Prime A Shula Steakhouse is fantastic. We're just exiting out of pool season, but they've got pools, they've got resort-style locations. And again, I've been to any and all 5-star resorts and casinos in Vegas. This is on par, if not next level, compared to those. And again, favorite part of it, have a staycation. You live in Phoenix, you live in the East Valley, you live in the West Valley, you live in North Phoenix. Takes under an hour to get there. Enjoy the weekend with a loved one, a spouse, husband and wife, whatever you want to do. Guys weekend, gals weekend. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathila.com for more details. Also want to give a big thank you to our friends at Sanderson Ford here, specifically in the Glendale location. They're 65-acre facility. It makes it the largest Ford dealer in the nation. Again, like, I have never considered myself to be a truck guy until I saw this location, the offers, the customer service, the deals, right? I mean, you're a truck guy, aren't you, historically?
Oh, yeah. I got lots of trucks.
Lots of trucks. Well, how would you feel about me getting a truck?
We'll get you the power steps that come down.
That goes without saying. Like, I'm not going to do a lift kit like our boy Bo Brack, who's going to join us from State Farm Stadium here in a little bit. But again, for your next vehicle purchase, or at least choose the dealership that gives back and pays it forward, see dealership details for more information. Again, so much good stuff with our friends at Sanderson Ford. Big thank you for our presenting sponsors today. Big thank you to our guy, Bo Brock. Perfect timing here. Joining us live from State Farm Stadium, the co-host of PHNX Cardinals, jumping on with us. Bo Brock looking fresh to death on this Monday Night Football action. Bo, how we living? What are the vibes? I hope they're immaculate at State Farm Stadium tonight.
Not bad, man. I just saw Urkel make his way into the press box. I don't know if he's a big Chargers fan or not. Yeah, I mean, I had to double check. I had to Google to make sure that was actually him. 2 decades after his stardom.
He said Urkel.
So
what was
Urkel
Urkel doing? Did you get a scouting report?
Did he have a jersey?
He came in. He followed in. He was with his wife. He followed in all the coaches that are heading up to their respective coaching booths to call the game or just kind of get the bird's eye view of the field. I'm like, damn, that dude looks like TGIF to me. And there he was, just rolling in. So I don't know if he's a huge Chargers fan or if he's starting to join the Birdgang, but we'll have to find out.
Something tells me that's bad vibes ahead of this game. But nonetheless, we're going to power through Urkel or not. Can we get, Saved by the Bell peeps on there? Can we get, Zach from Saved by the Bell to kind of counteract that if he truly is a Charger fan? But in all seriousness, Bo, we previewed it. We've talked about it ad nauseum this week. Arizona Cardinals now down with our friends at Bet365, basically do a straight pick 'em. Like, what do you foresee keys of the game? Can the Arizona Cardinals pull out what is now considered an upset? But you and I were talking off air, like, I'm not impressed with this Charger team. Am I wrong?
No, this is, as far as your weight class, they're fighting at the same weight class. I think that pound for pound, these rosters are pretty similar. But, do the Cardinals, can they get the advantage of playing at home? Can they slow down this rushing attack? Because I think that's the biggest key, right? Can they slow down the rushing attack of JK Dobbins? Can they not just completely get absorbed by this stout offensive line from the Chargers? I think that's the biggest key. Can they create negative plays? Can they put Justin Herbert in this Chargers offense, second, third, and long, and making it tough to convert on third downs? That's going to be key for them and getting off the field, keeping the Chargers to continue to have those offensive lulls throughout, like they've had the first 5 games of the season.
Bo, you'd be proud of me. It took everything in my power to not clap back at the Cardinals Twitter account. They were tweeting out videos of Marv working out before the game, and I just wanted to respond and be like, can you guys stop ruining Marv? Can we just have a good Marv night? He's doing one-handed catches. He's out there working out before anybody else is on the field. Yeah. Like, what's your expectation for the 4th overall pick out of Ohio State tonight on the national stage?
I mean, he's going to go as far as his offensive coordinator, his quarterback gets him involved, right? I think that's – can he play fast, though? And I think maybe it's something BG can talk to a little bit more is like, can he go out there and play fast? Can the Chargers not, put forth a defensive effort like we saw in San Francisco where maybe he's hesitating and not knowing where he needs to go? Can he just go out there and react and make big plays? You think like 6 games into this thing, maybe that's behind him, but, we can't say that definitively. You want to, like, we've been wanting it. Like, we got it once as far as the Rams performance, but now we just need to get it more consistently. Can you get those big games? Can he put up big numbers? Can he be that big playmaker? When we talked to Baldy earlier this week, opposite Trey McBride, that kind of creates mismatches for this defense.
Brittan, like, is Marv at the point now where he can demand the football? Like, given the fact that this offense has not shown an ability to function without him at a high level, like even 7 games into his career, is he allowed to come back to the huddle and just say, hey, guys, I need the football. I'm ready to make plays for my team?
Oh, I mean, you would love to see it even now, right? You want to see somebody that's confident enough in themselves that can come in and be like, hey, give me the ball. I'm going to make a play here. Now, at the same time, if you're going to do that, you better make that daggone play. Or now you just look foolish. But I think it's more of a thing on the sideline right now, right? Go out for the drive. You see what you do. You get the targets you get if you get any drive one. When you go back to the sideline, now it's time to talk with OC and quarterback and be like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is how they're playing me. I know we've got play calls in this system to line it up. Let's run these. We can attack what I see and see if we can make it work.
Bo, we talked about it before you jumped on, just the sense of urgency with John and Gannon to win this game. Like Jim Harbaugh, I think, comes into this game. Nothing to lose. First year, he's being lauded. They haven't played a real schedule. They don't – clearly, you look at the Charger roster, it's nothing to write home about. Whereas JG, fair or not, like with he and Amani Ossenford, like this is year 2. The dress rehearsal's over. And there is a huge difference, as people might laugh at this, between 2-5 and 3-4, losing to a team like Washington a couple weeks ago that's year one of their rebuild. Like, talk about the sense of urgency that I think that we're feeling, that this fan base is feeling with this new regime. Like, training wheels are off.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, you have no luxury anymore. You have no margin for error. And, I mean, you're not the New York Jets where you can go and try to, swindle people into believing that you're a faux contender by pulling off another deal and bringing in another overpaid, underperforming, veteran like they're going to do with Hassan Reddick at this point. Like, they need to go out there and they just need to continue to change they need to do it by winning a football game. And I think, like, you can do something similar where if it's a lopsided win for the Cardinals, then it makes the Harbaugh Chargers, like the honeymoon phase, look a little bit different. Like, I know that they'd be 3-3, but if you can come out and hang a big number on them, or the offense continues to sputter, like, if you can maybe create some questions for the opposing team for the first time instead of your own team, I think that's a positive. That's a definite step in the right direction. But look, that's furthest thing from where I think a lot of people are. Like, can they get a gritty win tonight? Can they just pull one out and, get closer to 500 before hitting the road to Miami against the Dolphins and trying to reach 500? But, one foot in front of the other here as far as this team goes.
Well, if you're a betting individual like we are, we're betting on them to get a dub tonight with our friends at Bet365. It's time to tap that app with our Super Boost PHNX Cardinals edition. How about this one, fellas? I mean, this is tremendous value.
Beautiful.
You've got opportunities here, Damon. 10 minutes before kickoff, Cards money line plus a little Trey McBride plus 50 receiving yards. I think it was you, Craig, and Bo going on the Trey McBride bandwagon on Friday. Chargers have been susceptible to opposing tight ends. Plus 250 goes to 550, Damon. I mean, those are some of the best odds I've seen all year.
That's an unreal boost. I mean, our friends at Bet365 really hooked us up with this one. I had to put money on it, Johnny.
Yeah.
No other way about it.
Smart. People are going to ask me if I did or not. Listen, I'm 0 for 7 on hold or fold the line this year, so I'm gonna just limit the amount of accessibility people have to my private bets unless I'm forced to. But I mean, just plus 550 with 2 lines at any point is very doable. Now, Bo, I want to get to a comment here. This is from the GM Saul Bookman in the chat saying, frankly, there are too many Charger fans in attendance here at the game. So disappointed by the amount of Chargers versus Cards fans. Now, San Diego is about a 4-hour drive away, so that's a realistic drive for a lot of ex-Charger fans, that have since been scorned since their move to LA. But be that as it may, like, what's your assessment of this home stadium kind of atmosphere tonight on Monday Night Football?
I mean, it's the status quo of what it's been, the last couple of weeks. Like, give the home fans a reason to hold on to their tickets and show up. I don't think that changes. As you sit here at 2-4, I mean, there's always been a lot of Chargers fans in the Valley. It's kind of been, once you get kind of west of Phoenix, you start to get closer to that San Diego, as you were pointing out. Like, you've got Chargers fans all over Arizona, and they've got, a lot to cheer about in the first year under Jim Harbaugh. So Monday Night Football, tickets were available, so they went and out got them. So, but you can hear the Cardinals fans show up as they introduce the starting offense. Marv just came out. You got Kyler Murray, the franchise quarterback, rushing out on the field. So it's getting loud in here. I wouldn't say, like, conservatively, I'd say it's about 60-40, which is probably too high, but that's where we're at.
I mean, Brittan, is it simple as go win games and this doesn't happen?
Boy, think about it, man. When this franchise was winning a lot of football games, there was a lot of red in there. A lot of red.
Yeah.
Right? Outside of the, whenever we played somebody from Snowbird Country. But, I mean, you had a Monday Night Football game. It was the Cardinals fans were everywhere, but that also helps when you're playing at 8-0 or 7-1, and when you're sitting at 2-4 and you've been winning 2 games for the last 3-4 years. It's not a lot for people to cheer about and want to go in there. So I think it's a step in the right direction if you can get a W in here, but you just got to start showing people that, hey, we can win football games. We can make it exciting.
So glad the Cardinals have that extra $25 million they did not spend in free agency to welcome all these Charger fans into town. Saul Bookman saying he got his $50 ticket in the lower bowl. I hope he used our friends at Game Time. I'm sure he did. Bo, before we get you out of here, final predictions for this game. I know you pretty staunchly committed to an L on a Friday. Have you been courted back to the dark side with choosing the Cardinals on Monday Night Football? Give me your final scouting report.
It's going to stick to the status quo from Friday, and I'll leave it at that as I shut up for the anthem.
All right. We will let you go, my friend. We will see you on the post-game show. Damon, Dawg, let's get to these super chats if we could.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting off with Greg Hanlon, $2. Yesterday was strangely pleasant. Coincidence?
It was a certain team out of the certain larger Glendale area did not play a game, so probably not.
Johnny Drama 22, $5. See you boys in Miami. LFG need a win tonight so we can ruin Tua's comeback next Sunday and get back to 500.
Brittan is going. I'm going. Damon is going. Bo is going. Craig is going, and I will be maybe the biggest irritant, regardless, if against Miami fans next weekend.
You think?
Yeah, I will. If the Cardinals win, especially, give me something to play off of. It's hard for me to talk grief to people's faces at 2-5, but like 3-4. Coming off
you
a
can talk
dub?
a little bit, yeah. Especially off primetime football, you can have a little bit.
I think Miami's going to treat us well, and I can't wait to see you, my guy. Safe travels. We will see you in South Beach on Friday.
Chaz 199. Howdy, fellas. How many sacks we getting tonight? Johnny?
I think they get like 1 sack. They have tremendous tackles. Cardinals edge rushers are egregiously bad, respectfully. I'll go 1 sack. What about you?
I think tonight, I don't know.
Herbert's a little immobile. He's got an ankle.
Yeah, he's not moving.
No.
I'll do 1.5.
It's cute. I like it.
Over 1.5.
Nice.
I'll take under there. But Khalil Mack. I mean, we were talking about that beforehand, going against Kelvin Beachum. Maybe hit that one. Maybe hit the over on that one.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Beach. Let's go. Tip Ryman? Can Tip Ryman do anything? Tip Ryman had worse odds than no touchdowns to have an anytime touchdown in this game, by the way. Bo Brock sent us that before the game.
Reezy Baby, $2. Roller coaster goes up and down. Tonight we up.
Let's do it.
Nobody deserves it more than us, Reezy Baby. Like, nobody in the NFL, nobody in this. Like, we deserve it more than anybody.
This one's slightly concerning because I don't know what he's doing watching the program right before he has a game going. But Drew Petzing's watching the show. 199 says, LOL, don't have a clue what I'm doing.
That's good.
Story of my life. Thank you, Drew.
That's really good.
Drew, best of luck, my guy. I still believe in you for another 60-minute football game. I still believe in you. Otherwise, I'm not on board.
Ending it out here with Cardi D, $2. Who is Smurf with an ear emoji?
People are Charger fans getting after K1 today. It's just like, come on, man. Let's have a good game.
I think he's talking about Sean Murphy bunting.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Sholo, man, 199, the last minute super chat. Chargers have an interception in every game. Will that end?
We hope so.
I don't care if Kyler Murray throws a pick as long as it's passing. Like, you can turn the ball over once and have 3-4 touchdowns. Like, Jordan Love had 2 picks yesterday. He leads the NFL in picks, but he's throwing tutties. Like, I think a big knock on this Cardinal offense is, well, they're not turning the ball over, say, for last game and the fumbles. That was an anomaly. But, like, Kyler Murray, like, I'm ready for a vintage K1 game. If there's a pick in that, that's fine as long as you're getting after it and scoring points in the end zone. Like, you can throw picks and win games.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it all weekend.
Yeah.
Been quarterbacks that throw. I mean, Baker Mayfield threw 3 interceptions a couple of weeks ago and still beat the Saints.
Yeah. You got to have a good defense to play off of that. All right, so I was on the record of saying I think the Cardinals win. Damon is still having them hold that L. Brittan, what do you think? You want to have a tiebreaker here? What do you think? Cardinals getting a dub, or are they taking an L to go to 2-5?
Oh, I think for our sake they need a W, but I think I don't know if they can do it. I just don't know if they can stop the run.
Yeah, I think everybody wants this team to do well. We want it for them. But that's the problem is, like, we can't want it more than them. And I don't want to hear about talent tonight. I don't want to hear about injuries. I don't want to hear about rebuilds and timelines and all that BS. Like, you're ahead of schedule compared to the Chargers. You've had more time. You have more resources. You have the better team on paper. Go win this game. Regardless, we're going to be back for your PHNX Cardinals halftime post-game show. Be sure to like this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports on YouTube. Subscribe to the PHNX Cardinals podcast wherever you get your podcast. Go and follow right now. Drop us a 5-star. We appreciate everybody. Big thanks to Bo Brock, Damon, Dawg, Brittan, Golden. Thank you to all the super chats. We'll see you at halftime. I'm Johnny Venerable.
We all silly like the mayor.